have failed me for the last time.
Well, not every day can be perfect. In fact, I failed at quite a bit today. Failed to get my 17-year-old off to school because I couldn't argue with actually vomiting. I failed to pack myself a lunch, so now I'm going to have to buy lunch, which I don't like doing. And apparently I failed to check the traffic report, and now I'm sitting in bumper to bumper on the bridge. Fantastic. Which actually means I'm probably going to fail to get to work on time, too. Sorry. And in the grand scheme of things, I suppose these are all minor failures. They don't really have huge impacts on life. We'll get over it. I've had some doozies. I've had some pretty big failures, as I'm sure you have too. Sometimes we just get it wrong. The question, I guess, is why? Why do we fail so often? What is it that causes us to screw up and forget things and procrastinate? What's the root cause here? Oh, I better change lanes or I'm definitely going to fail to get to work. So I'm going to give you top 5 reasons why we fail. Number 5, I think, is a lack of discipline. I think we are prone to being a lazy species. And I'm sure this is different culturally. As an American, most of us tend to live up to the reputation that, yes, we are indeed lazy and we suffer from a lack of motivation. The thing is, you can't be a perfectionist about it, right? It's just like when you start working out for the first time, you have a tendency to overdo it and burn yourself out in one session, and then you're like, no, I'm not doing that again. Number 4, maybe a lack of self-esteem. I see a lot of people that have confidence issues. It may not necessarily be a ground-shattering depression or self-hate. In general, I think there are some people that just look at it and go, well, I'm going to screw up anyway, so what's the point? Well, I'm here to tell you, and no, I'm not some motivational speaker, but the bottom line is, you cannot sit there and label yourself that way. It's pointless. You might have failed at something, but that does not mean that you're a failure. Number 3, the reasons why people fail, I think maybe because people refuse to admit their past mistakes. If you screwed this up today, it's entirely possible that this is not the first time you've screwed this up. You gotta learn. You gotta learn from your mistakes, and you've gotta apply what you learned. You can't just brush it under the rug and forget it ever happened. For example, if it's every single day that you're failing to accomplish the same goal, maybe we should stop and define that goal a little bit better so that you can learn from why you've gotten it wrong in the first place. Number 2, I think, personally, is people rationalize. This is somewhat akin to not realizing your mistakes or refusing to admit them. The folks that rationalize, they've got a whole book of excuses. There's an accountability piece there. Does it tie back at all to the earlier statement about motivation? If you're not really motivated and you fail to do something, and then you're going to come up with an excuse or a rationalization. And again, this may come from failures building up on you. I understand that. But you can't think of every unsuccessful attempt as a failure and then make an excuse. Which I think brings me to the number 1 reason why people fail. And I think that translates to a lack of persistence and a fatalistic attitude. You don't screw things up because you lack talent or you lack ability to do something. You don't always fail because you lack a skill or you lack some piece of knowledge. It's all about you. It's all about your desire and willingness to persist. Having a fatalistic attitude kind of prevents people from taking responsibility for what happens in their life. You owe it to yourself to look in the mirror every single day and acknowledge that you're in charge of you. You're the one that makes the choice of what you're going to do, how you're going to do it. And all 5 of these factors play into whether or not you're going to succeed or fail. It's that simple. These are the moments that define your character. How you deal with failure, how you deal with adversity. These are choices that are controlled by none other than you. For me, unfortunately, it means that the last failure of my morning is I am not going to get to work on time as I pull into the parking lot, and I should be there right now. But I know I've gotten this out of the way. My rough morning is over, and I can start my day, focus on what's going to be important and getting through that day and hoping nothing else goes wrong. I hope that maybe this video helped you a little bit this morning. Thanks so much for coming along and listening to me gripe and pontificate. If you liked the video, please subscribe, help us build the channel, and we'll see you on the road.